Guys, I am so happy to be able to show you a special sneak peek preview of Contingency Contract arriving in Arknights Endfield. Do you hear that music? The familiar banger tune that you get to hear in the lobby? Because yes, that's right, welcome back Contingency Contract! Oh my goodness, so good to see over here, and it's gonna look very familiar to you guys as well, because take a look at this. The table of risk, it's the very familiar layout that you see back when Contingency Contract first started in Arknights. You've got risk 1 to risk 3, you have a selection of tables and you can click on all the stuff that you want in order to unlock it. So I'm going to bring you through what you can expect when it comes to the risk and a little bit about what enemies you are going to face. Now, just to take note, I'm going to cover up the risk that you see over here because I've already tried this myself prior to filming this video. So in order to unlock the risk that you see within this hidden panel, you have to get at least one risk done. So I've already done that, but basically when this first started, there was this tree that I got to see over here, okay? And what I tried to do was I decided to play risk 8 just for the sake of it. And I need to just tell you that even with a level 90 team and with proper full essence completed for all their weapons and also properly built gear, I won't lie, I actually struggled to clear it with the Fang E team. I saw myself failing not once but twice, and so I caved and only did risk 1, which is using this timer risk. Now, the original stage itself has a time limit of 10 minutes, which is what I expected, that they should allow people to have a lenient amount of time in order to clear the stage. But they did exactly what I asked for, that is to make timer a risk. So as you can see over here, risk 1 says minus 100 seconds, and all the way down to risk 3 is minus 300 seconds, which means it cuts it down from 10 minutes to 5 minutes. This is going to affect how people are going to approach these runs. It is much more likely that players aren't going to be taking this timer risk when trying to achieve the highest possible risk, but it's not going to lower the achievement for people who actually take the timer risk and still try to go as high as possible. Maybe they can't reach the level of a no timer, but still, this is going to be impressive to see. To speak a little bit in Arknights terms, for those of you who don't play Arknights is fine, but let me speak to my people for a while. It's kind of like how in CC, we typically see squad size limit 7 and deployment limit 5 as the very popular risk. So much more likely that you see people doing higher max risk with deployment limit, but it doesn't mean those who do squad size 7 is all that bad, because that's essentially half your roster wiped out. They can't achieve that highest max risk, but whatever that they're doing over there, still really good to watch. And so I'm very happy that they did exactly what I wanted, that is to have a timer risk. We're gonna see higher max risk with 10-minute runs, and lower max risk, but still cool, the 5-minute runs. Now once you've cleared risk 1, you will unlock the huge panel of risk from this point all the way down to right over here. There's another panel of risk after this, and that needs you to clear up to a total of risk 10. And look at the sea of choices you have here. I need to remind everyone that this is just a sneak peek preview, so you're not going to see all the risks just yet, but I'm going to show you some of the stuff, and some of these might look familiar to you guys. Like for example, stamina regen down, that's your dodge meter, and if you go all the way down to risk 3, dodge cannot be performed. We've seen this recently in Unreal Monument stage. And then we have some very fanciful new ones, like for example, vulnerability of arts infliction of the same element can be applied only once to the same enemy every 5 seconds. And it's very cool to see that there is a new indicator to tell you that the enemy cannot receive that status for the time being. So you will see that timer run down in order to indicate to you you shouldn't be wasting your skill if you want to apply another arts infliction. Really good to see. It's going to be testing you guys on not spamming your skills or your combo skills. And I love that that is happening. And then we take a look at something else. Like for example, this one states, whenever an operator casts an ultimate, ultimate damage dealt by the said operator's subsequent ultimates is reduced by 50%. You go by the higher risk, 100% damage reduction, which essentially means that your second, third ultimates onwards will have no damage. However, this is a bit of your test of understanding your operators and reading comprehension, because it doesn't mean every single operators are disabled. Like for example, you have people like Levitate and Yvonne, where their ultimate just gives them a burst state, and all the damage that they're dealing is on their basic attack. So actually they're not affected by this. But there are also a lot of operators that are affected by this. Like for example, Gilberta and Tang Tang. But the good thing about them is maybe you won't get their damage, but you can still use the ability they provide. Like for example, Tang Tang can still do her time stop, and Gilberta can also still assist by buffing the team in terms of art susceptibility. So this is a bit of your thinking over here. Who gets affected and who might still be useful despite the risk being in play? Now, it's always so exciting to talk about the risk, but actually, how does Contingency Contract work this time around as compared to, what we see in Arknights? So, there is no daily stages, thankfully speaking. This Contingency Contract will run for the entire duration of the patch for 7 weeks. Now, in the first week when it launched, you will not see every single tag over here. All tags will be unlocked by week 2. Then, you can actually take the entire patch duration in order to achieve the risk that you want. When playing these stages, there are 4 waves of enemies. You have to clear all 4 waves under the time limit in order to count it as your best record. And you can see your best record on the bottom left of the screen right over there. If you don't clear it within the time, then it's a failure and you're gonna have to retry. And maybe you might want to reshuffle your risk to something that better suits you. Take note, consumables are not allowed, so no healing items and no buffing items. But you will get healing orbs to use in between every wave that you clear. So that's going to be beneficial, or do I wonder if there's going to be risk tag that let you not heal? Okay, just a guess. We're not going to talk about that. I will mention the rewards and missions later in the video, but I'm going to finish off with the table of risk first, because that's always more interesting to listen to. So this is a little bit of a hybrid of like your OG CC and current CC that you see in AK, whereby in order to use certain later risk, you need to unlock some prerequisites first. So all the risks that you see on this side, this is still part of panel 2, and in panel 3, again, you need to complete a total risk of 10. So in order to use this risk, you must have chosen one of the 2 risks over here. And then with that, it will unlock everything else that you can continue to add to your total risk. Okay, pretty cool mechanic. It's gonna be annoying, but you will definitely be seeing a lot of people pick this in order to get to the higher levels. In any case though, I will still showcase to you guys some of the interesting stuff that they are doing. Like for instance, if we take a look at these 2 skills, whenever operator casts battle skill 2, if not 1 time on the higher risk, apply a stack of cryo infliction to the control operator, and the effect trigger cooldown is 3 seconds. The reason why this is important is because if your operator gets a total stack of 4 stacks, which you can actually see in the gameplay itself, that they receive these stacks, once they hit 4, they will be solidified. And that's not good for you, because it means you cannot operate them, they're going to be receiving quite a bit of damage. Very concerning. And it's going to get worse, because for instance, there is another risk tag that says if an enemy applies cryo infliction to the control operator, it's not going to be infliction. Boom! Solidification. Very similar to an Umbral Monument again that we just played recently. They were definitely prepping us for this. But there are risk tags that are a little bit interesting because they are a risk, but they also maybe provide a benefit. Like for instance, the one that I've picked to unlock these risks, it states length of operator combo skill cooldown is reduced. So your combo skills can be used a lot more, but the disadvantage is that your battle skill damage is reduced. So combos can be powerful, normal level, but your battle skill will be weaker. So again, advantage and disadvantage. So likewise over here, these 4 tags are super interesting. So you have to select one of them, or don't select them at all, where it states duration of solidification applied to the operators is extended to 15 seconds. That's crazy, straight up. 15 seconds of being ice cold frozen in the stage. However, if you cast a heat type skill, it will dispel the solidification. So this is really interesting because it is a disadvantage, but it also counters the crazy risk that we just talked about earlier. And you don't have to make it just heat. There's the option of making it nature type skills, there's the option of making electric type skills, and there's the option for physical type skills. Only cryo is not included because, I mean, that was worsen solidification, right, if you think about it. But very cool to see the kind of strategies that can come across from all the different types of teams in play. It will be a free choice to see how you want to counter the solidification, and it's already nice to see them encourage different teams to counter against this very first contingency contract. Now, before I show you the idea of max risk, the thing is, in order to get all the rewards, do I have to click on every single thing? Nope, that's not how it works. So if we go into the missions itself, you can actually see how there is going to be weekly mission and test criteria mission. So the highest risk that they expect all the sort of players to try their best to go up till is risk 20. So you might hear the familiar risk 18 number. For this game, they decided 20 will be enough for you to collect this thing called the Vitrified Coin that you can use to buy the shop. And then there's also weekly mission. Now, as I've stated, this is going to run for the entire patch. So 7 weeks long. In the first week, you won't get all the risk unlocked. But then from week 2, you will get every single risk And every single week, they will update it with these missions. So if you just click on a certain mission, like this one over here, and you click confirm, they'll automatically select for you the combo of text that you need to do. You clear this and you can get those 500 petrified coins. So once you collect all of these coins, you can spend them within the shop. Now, what are the rewards that you can get during this event? Now, I can't show you the specifics of the rewards yet because the early access build might not have the exact numbers, but you will be getting big materials that you can buy, like for instance coolant gels, advanced progression crates, EXP of the higher tier for both weapons and characters, and there will be pools for you to get as well, so oro barrels will be in the shop. You need to note that in the base game of Arknights, they don't even give any pools. But it's been a consistent trend in Endfield that all the events always come with some form of pools. There won't be all too many, but what do you need to do to get these pools? You just need a mere Risk 5. Risk 5 is going to be doable with any team that you own. If you have some meta general team, you have a mishmash of everything, it's not going to be hard at all. Definitely, everyone's going to be able to get it. Then you can buy those oro barrels along with some of the other big materials as well. If you want to max out all the rewards in the shop, all you have to do as you solve from the mission is just to get Risk 20. You don't have to go all the way up to the giant risks that people are going to be talking about in the next few days. Those are just for fun. It's for your own personal achievement. It's for yourself to show off in your account. But rewards only, just Risk 20. Take note, the currency for this particular event will not be transferred to future contingency contract. You are to spend all the Vetrified coins during this period of time. Now, if you do struggle with Risk 20, there's still another means for you to get Vetrified coins easily, and I'm gonna show it to you. So, there is also the familiar first clear reward. If you clear a Risk 1 tag, you get 15 coins, Risk 2 30, and Risk 3 45. If you clear a Risk 3 tag for the first time, it will automatically give you the ones that are earlier before. If you're bold, what you could do is to select multiple risks at a time in order to try to get all the first clear rewards together at the same time. But if you are unable to do so because you find it difficult, it is perfectly okay for you to remove the tags and just do the singular ones that you still haven't gotten it before. That's why you can see all these present boxes. It indicates that there is still a first clear reward. By the way, I'm sure some of you are wondering, will trim medal exist because it's a familiarity for contingency contract. Unfortunately, for what I see right now, there is no trimming condition. There is just a condition for the medal, and it states to clear at Risk 20, which is the same level they expect you to reach to get the maximum Vetrified coins. So I don't know if they will eventually add it. I feel like CN community and JP community will be asking for it if it doesn't exist, but for what it is now, that's what they kind of expect you to do. So again, don't have to go very high. But you'll probably be also asking me, then what is max risk? So I'm going to show you something really interesting under my camera over here, and you can see I've selected a total of risk 25. Again, you don't have to do this, it's for your own personal achievement. If you were to go beyond 25, 26 and above, you'll start seeing a warning that says selected test criteria pose quite a challenge. Please act with prudence. It's already warning you, it's gonna get difficult. And if I were to go even higher again, if you go from risk 36 and up, it will actually say that the selected test criteria pose a real challenge, okay? It's basically telling you, you are going to get messed up. And now you're gonna be asking me, how high can this number actually go? And sure, I'm gonna show you just how high it can go. Look at this. It's going to be risk 52. This is the highest risk that this game mode is currently allowing you to do. And I'm just gonna hatch a little bet right here. I don't think people are gonna achieve this. And you might be saying, well, you dare me, I'm gonna try to do it. But I'm just telling you that I was already messed up at just lower risk. And if that were the case, I am not ready to see how this is going to happen. It's going to be very fun to see the community all get involved to not exactly to chase this 52, but could we actually do, you know, risk 35, 40, 45? Just how high can we go all together as a community? I will make more videos about Contingency Contract because I do think this is such a high impact thing. It's what the game really have needed. And I hope this has been a fun preview for you guys to be enjoying. So, that's all I'm going to say for this video. See you in my live streams and also future videos. Take care, y'all. Bye-bye.